I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to become financially free by the end of 2025. Alright guys, I hope that wasn't too cocky. I just wanted to make a strong hook because I know that's what YouTube likes. But what I said is true. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to become rich by the end of this year. I'm not going to give any BS. I'm not going to give any abstract information or any fluff. You can follow along because I'll tell you exactly how you can become rich from scratch with no money. The reason I'm making this video right now is because I've always found videos like this extremely motivating, but I've never seen anyone make a video before they became rich. Usually people make a video after they're rich. For me personally, if I saw a video like this right now where someone called it before they made it and then they actually made it, it would be extremely motivating. So I hope I can make this content for anyone else that is in the same position as me right now. The first step is to get $5,000. To do that, you need some kind of income that will allow you to save up $5,000 while still paying up your expenses. Then you need that $5,000 to be money that you're 100% comfortable risking to become rich. The quickest way to do this is just with a standard employee job or with a self-employed job. I've already done this step. I've had both types of jobs and I've just been collecting money over the years. From my experience, the job I would recommend is DoorDashing. The reason why I choose DoorDashing for this step is because you can earn about $20 an hour, which is better than all zero experience jobs that I know about, and you only need a car to do it. What I like about DoorDashing as opposed to an employee job is that you can work as many hours as you want. So you can work 60 hours a week easily if you work weekends as well, just to get extra money very quickly. I would say with DoorDashing, you can easily make $5,000 in 1 to 3 months, and then depending on your circumstances, if you have more expenses, I would say that it would take at most 6 months to get $5,000 if you really live frugally and you really grind it. And obviously, if you already have an income that's higher than $20 an hour, then do that and get that $5,000. And if you don't have a car or a driver's license, then yeah, you can't do DoorDashing, so just get a regular employee job like waitering or something. The second step, which is the one that I'm currently doing, is dropshipping. I know what you're gonna say, don't click off. You're gonna say dropshipping is dead, 2025, nobody does dropshipping anymore. Nope, wrong. I have been doing dropshipping for a few months now and I'm not profitable yet, so that's why I'm making this video right now, because I said how I'm gonna become rich, because I'm not rich yet. But I have gotten over 100 sales and I have confirmed that it is possible to become rich from it. And real quick, if you're not familiar with dropshipping, essentially the way it works, I think the YouTuber Biaheza has the best explanation for this. He calls this the 4 pillars of dropshipping. The first step is going to be product research, which is finding the product you're going to sell, typically from a Chinese supplier. The second one is website design, which is when you make a website and you sell your product for a slightly higher margin. The third step is your ad creative, so actually making ads for that product. And then the fourth step is media buying, which is when you're actually paying for the ads on platforms like TikTok and Facebook. Also, I've been watching a lot of the YouTuber Ethan Dobbins. He also talks about market research as kind of another step. And honestly, I would say market research is like the foundation, because what you're doing is you're researching your target audience and you're seeing why they're actually buying the products instead of just guessing. Then you're using that information to make your ads and put it on your website. And if you do this, dropship is never going to be dead, because all the products that you see on Amazon, all the ads from YouTube, from Facebook, from TikTok, you can actually prove this yourself. There's an extension called AliSeek that you can take an image of a product and then it will show you the Chinese supplier that it comes from. It will show you the Temu link, the AliExpress link, the Alibaba link, and you can pretty much figure out that every purchase they've ever made online is a ripoff, because everyone is getting these products for cheaper and then they're selling it to you for a higher margin. I'm not saying all of you are drop shipping, but drop shipping is the method that people use to test a new product that they don't know are going to work, because drop shipping is a fulfillment method where you're getting your product to your customer without ordering in bulk first, without committing to the product, because you don't know if it's a good product or not. The goal for drop shipping is that we're trying to reach financial freedom in the quickest amount of time. Financial freedom, the way I define it, is the bare minimum amount of money where I could just stop working for the rest of my life and I would still survive. For me, I've been living with just $1,200 a month for the past 4 years, and on a 6 to 8% market rate, which is the average, I need to get $200,000 to $300,000 to live off of it completely passively and never have to work again. I wouldn't personally do that because I do have future ambitions and this is supposed to just be the bare minimum. But the way I view it is, before this, it's kind of like you're running on a treadmill your whole life, and then once you actually reach financial freedom, it's the point where you can actually click the stop button on the treadmill, and then after that you can even get the treadmill to push you in the direction you want to go. There's 2 paths to become rich or become financially free. The first path is a traditional path where you work a job and you invest monthly in the market. The catch, of course, is that it's going to take you 40 years to become rich. The second step is if you want to become rich young. The first thing you got to understand is that there's 2 ways to make money. You either trade time for money or you trade money for money. On one end, you have a job, right? Either employee or self-employed too, where you're trading your time for money. The good thing about this is that this is something anyone can do, but the problem with this is scalability, right? Your money will grow linearly. You won't get more money for the more money you have, and you only have so many hours in a week that you can actually put into the job. On the other side of things, you have investing, which is purely trading money for more money. The good part is that your money will grow exponentially, but the disadvantage is that you need a lot of money to begin with to actually actually make a lot of money back. However, there is a path in the middle, which is business. With business, you can use both money and time. Unlike investing, where it's actually going to take you millions to actually get millions back, you only need an upfront money, so something like $5,000 to get you started. And unlike a job where it's going to take you 40 years to become rich, you only need with a good business like dropshipping 1 to 3 years. An objection I hear a lot of people say to this, that it's just money and time, is people talk about risk. People are like, oh, no, because a job is more secure. With the business, you're risking money and you might lose it all. People don't understand how risk works. Risk is just probability. If you do something that's a low probability event once and you succeed, then yeah, okay, you got lucky. But if you do it over and over and over again, eventually the probability that's low is going to become a high probability, and then the odds will actually be in your favor to succeed. That's why you shouldn't be thinking in terms of risk. Just think of the two factors I said: how much upfront time it's going to take before the business becomes profitable, and how much upfront money it's going to take before it becomes profitable. This is why conceptually a business is the method that you should be trying to get rich from, because you're using all your assets, which is both all your money and all your time, and this allows you to get rich in the shortest amount of time possible. Once you get that, you need to actually pick a business model. And honestly, I'm a big believer that all of them work. Amazon FBA, dropshipping, real estate wholesaling, social media marketing agency, all of them have their pros and cons. I do think some are better than others. I'll talk about that in a second. But my understanding is that the reason why so many people have become rich from them is because they have a mechanism that allows you to quickly fail many times. For instance, dropshipping, each product that you try is an attempt at succeeding, but the chances of succeeding with any one product is very low. But since you can keep trying over and over and over again, once you hit the jackpot, you're gonna make a lot more money than all the money that you spent from trying all of these times. Another one that lets you fail many times is wholesaling. What you're doing here, I tried this with a buddy of mine. You get a list of numbers from people that are potentially gonna sell their house. You find someone, then you find an investor, but then you act as the middleman. Then you get somewhere between $5,000 to $30,000 once the deal goes through. The trade-off here between dropshipping and wholesaling for all these business models is that you're trading off how much time or money you're putting in. For wholesaling, it's more on the time side and less on the money side for your part. Another model is Amazon FBA. This is very similar to dropshipping. The difference is you're selling on Amazon, but you're ordering it in bulk because you have to send items to Amazon in bulk so that they can have the quick shipping times. This one is more on the money end, but it does take less time to work because people trust Amazon more and you're more likely to get a product to succeed using this method. I do think that dropshipping is the optimal balance between only needing a few $1,000s and it allowing you to try it within 1 to 3 days, and the success rate for each product being high enough that it overall takes you only a few months to become successful. Because if it took any less money but more time, I think it would just be quicker overall to just work a job and get more money so that you can actually do dropshipping. And I think that if it took more money and less time, then working a job would not be worth it, because once you reach 5,000, you can already do dropshipping. So I do think it's kind of in the sweet spot. So that's why I recommend in the last step that you actually do get a job to get some money first. Compare this to what most people think you should do as a business owner, which is start a brick and mortar. Or a lot of people say like, oh, you're wasting time with dropshipping. You should try to make the next new idea. This is like the biggest waste of time in my opinion. You're gonna waste your time and your money if you're gonna do this, because there are people that succeed. Obviously, there are billionaires that have made a brand new idea or succeeded. But the issue with this is now you're no longer following a model. You're just following something off of your own head that is untested, and then you're gonna be committing a lot of time. You're gonna be committing a lot of money, and then if it doesn't work, you're gonna have to come up with a completely brand new idea. Because typically, unless they tried many different ideas or they had a system where they could try many times, they typically only did it once and then they succeeded, right? So that's luck. I'm not saying that they weren't smart or that they didn't put in hard work, but that is luck, because there are many other people that tried a one-off idea and didn't succeed. That's why you need something that's survivor bias proof, like a business model that you can just repeat the same concept. You know other people have done it. For instance, dropshipping, you can think of each product as a brand new idea, right? Because each product serves a different purpose. It's kind of like it allows you to try out many businesses, but in a repeatable fashion that you can streamline and then eventually become successful from. Even the most elite professional dropshippers that I've watched, they say that they fail 80% of the time. Only 1 in 5 products that they try actually become successful. That's why my point is, with business, most of it is luck. You can't know until you try. But with a good business model, you can turn that luck into pure probability by trying over and over again, and you would actually be unlucky if you didn't succeed. Let me talk about my experience with dropshipping a little bit. I've done dropshipping for a few months now. I've gotten some products very close to becoming break even so that I'm actually profitable. And I've gotten over 100 sales. It took me personally 3 products until I got my first sale. Keep in mind, most people, they'll try one product and then they'll get no sales and they'll be like, okay, dropshipping is dead, doesn't work. Now, yeah, it takes time to learn. At this point, I've tested about, I would say, 15 products. Most products that I test now do get a few sales, but it takes a while for you to build up to that point. I even got one product specifically to get a lot of sales. It got to the point where every ad that I was posting for that product would get lots of sales, but I had to kill it because it just wasn't profitable. The point that you have to reach reach is that the average cost that it takes you to pay for advertisements to get one customer is lower than the average profit that you're making per purchase. And that's the point where you break even. And once that happens, it's just about putting more fuel into the fire, right? You just pump money into your ads, then you scale, and then you make a ton of money. I won't be breaking down my strategy in this video because that would take hours to make. But if you guys want, honestly, then my best recommendation is watch Ethan Dobbins. He has an 8-hour video that is just everything that you need to know about dropshipping. But I will be making videos myself in the future. But regardless, you can watch videos the entire day, and you do need to learn some knowledge to do it. But at the end of the day, you do have to do it yourself, right? So don't get stuck in the loop of just watching videos that are about something that is productive without actually doing it yourself, because then you're going to get to the point where you're wasting time. I'm at the point now where I've watched enough videos and I've taken enough notes that I think that I know pretty much everything that's necessary to become rich from dropshipping. So I'm honestly just trying to pump out about a product every 2 to 3 days, and that my expectation is that I'll become profitable in the next 1 to 2 months. Step 3, once I actually become financially free, I'm going to get into this step, which is building lifetime wealth with real estate. Lifetime wealth, the way I define it, is not only money that will last me for a lifetime, but also money that I'll be making completely passively that is more money than I can possibly spend per year. For me, that's like $500,000 to $1 million net income after taxes. On the personal level, I feel like that's kind of like the final goal that you can achieve with money. I do have future ambitions that will probably take even more money to do later, but I'll make some later videos on that after I'm financially free. The reason why I pick real estate as the way to build lifetime wealth is because real estate is the business model that has made the most millionaires. And the reason for that is because real estate is actually really overpowered. If you get a rental property and you pay cash for it, the average return when you consider the rent, your expenses, and your appreciation is about 5 to 6%. So on face value, it might look like it's actually worse than the market, right? But actually what makes real estate really overpowered is the fact that you can get mortgages. The typical mortgage, you're only putting about 20% down payment for the house, but you're getting 100% of the house value. So you can still rent the house for that 100% value. Now, you obviously do have to pay in the mortgage monthly, so the average return ends up being 15 to 25%. But if you compare that to literally any other investment, that's so overpowered, because real estate is not only a very reliable investment because people are always going to be needing houses, it's also a very proven investment because, like I said, a lot of people have gotten rich from it, and then also it's just way better than the market. And then my plan is that I want to get that 15 to 25% ROI, and then I want to make probably real estate be 50% of my portfolio long term. I'm still going to be invested in other things like stocks, crypto, but as soon as I can buy my first house, I'm going to do that. And then once I have 5 to 10 properties, that's typically when I've heard that it becomes worth it to hire a management team and you're still profitable, right? So then it becomes fully passive. Overall, real estate is going to be my main focus to actually build wealth. And I really base it on the cash flow quadrant, which I believe it's from Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. It has employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor as like the 4 ways to make money. The way I structured the video in my plan to become rich is that it's my path to go from the first 2, employee and self-employed, to get 5,000, and then becoming a business owner through dropshipping so that you can actually become financially free, and then later transition that financial freedom into wealth so that you can make a lot of money purely passively. Ever since I found out about the cash flow quadrant, I've kind of used it as my roadmap to becoming rich, and I just kind of try to find what's the most optimal opportunity for each step, and that's what I try to lay out in this video. I wanted to get this video out before I become financially free because I do think it's going to be extremely motivating when I do become financially free. I do have big plans for the future after I become financially free for this channel, and hopefully I'm trying to build this channel now so that hopefully it's even another source of income too. But I do have ideas that I want to do long term, so stay tuned for that. If you're going to take one thing out of this video, is that you don't need luck to succeed. You can have a survivor bias proof method like dropshipping, where it allows you to try over and over and over again until the odds are in your favor. Each product on its own doesn't have a high chance of succeeding. Each product has maybe less than a 10% chance of succeeding, but you can try over and over and over again so that eventually you have tried so many times that overall your chance of succeeding will be over 90%, and then it would actually become unreasonable if you didn't succeed. Please like, subscribe,